What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on my truck right here. This is my 2001 Chevy Silverado. It has a 4-door crew cab with a step-side bed, which I did the conversion myself. Royal blue metallic, and for the moment I am running on, I don't remember the name of these wheels, Thunderbolt or something. They're from Summit. They're 20s by 10s with the 275 55 20 tire. Very common tire size for, most 20s, like OEM. Look at that gap. I used to have this truck lifted slightly with 35s, and it looked very nice. Right now it's at stock height, just stock height, and it has a very nice stance also. I like it, but I just want to lower it. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and get the measuring tape. I'm gonna begin by taking off the bed. I think the bed, removing it, is just gonna be our best option. Right here is the kit that I got. So it comes with the flip kit, so you the drive shaft, whatever, and for the U-bolt plate. And it also comes with a C-notch, so you can notch the frame and put this one comes with all the hardware, like the nuts and bolts, but I want to weld all the way around, like as much as I can, just have this welded. For the drive shaft, I got new U-bolts for both sides. Sorry. Some cut-off wheels, bolts, and measuring tape, so I can go ahead and just measure. We're gonna measure from the ground, center through the wheel, and right here we have 40 inches. 40 inches from the ground. From the top of the tire we have 9 1/4. And here we have the front one. Measure from the ground, center through the wheel, 38 1/2. Seven 3/4. Alright guys, so I was able to take off the bed. It took me a while because I only had 2 straps right here, and that's what I used to pick up the bed. It's only 8 bolts from the bottom. I also removed the back bumper, but other than that, yeah, just lifted up the bed, took it out of the way, and now right here we have the chassis. We need to take off the fuel tank because there's this bolt right here for the leaf springs, and the bolt goes in that way and the tank is in the way. So other way to get around that is just to remove the universal joint and maybe even the brake lines, roll the differential back, lower these, and then roll it back in and then pick it up. But that would mean I would have to bleed out the lines, the brake lines. So there's that option, either lower the fuel tank or disconnect the brake lines. Alright, for the front one, closest to the cab, it is 5/16 for, the nut and bolt. In case it does. There it is. Alright, it started spinning. This looks like chassis slowly. I'm gonna hold it right there. Oh, okay. I still have the jack stands on the chassis, so we're good. Alright, the shackles are off, but I still need to drop the fuel tank so I can remove that bolt inside. The other one comes out pretty easily, as you can see. It comes out this way pretty easy. This one, the fuel tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and just work on that. Alright, my camera overheated and it turned off. But basically I just took off the 2 bolts for the straps. Those are the straps. Those are 1 and 2. The bolt isn't there. Anyways, just 2 bolts for the straps. And then I'm not gonna fully take it off. The bolt is just right there. You guys can see it now. So that's the bolt. Now I can take that off and remove the leaf springs. Alright, an old 1/4 inch extension. The bolt. Alright, so I have my grinder right here. This cutoff wheel is still good. I'm going to use that for now. I bought 2 more. I'm going to use those either to cut the chassis for the notch or whatever, but I'm going to use this to cut off the U-bolts. And I don't have an eye shield, but I've got my respirator mask. I took off the filters, so it's just a mask, just to protect the eyes. So I'm gonna take this one out too. I don't think it's gonna pop or anything. I guess it is. That center bolt, it's a good thing I brought some extra ones because I wanted to replace those as well. But these springs are off. And damn. Alright, so these leaf springs, they all stay together, but I'm still going to replace the bolt in the middle. So for now, we can take these off. Alright guys, just a quick update right here on what I've done. So after I took off the leaf springs, I went ahead and I got the step drill, the bit, and I opened up these little holes just a bit more so that they can fit on the new bolt right here. Fits perfectly. This will fit perfectly on the other side as well. So here's some of the things that I removed and why. So U-bolts, this was the driver's side. These I removed. Check this out. There's a drop of sweat running through my screen and it doesn't let me zoom. There it is. So there's this bigger nut right here that was used as a spacer, and you can see that, you know, the thread was just worn out. Down here there's not even a thread left. Some of these were just double threaded, like stripped, but they all have an extra nut as a spacer. So I knew I wanted to replace these for sure. These, there was nothing wrong with these on this side, passenger. They were just, you know, old and rusted. The bolt that holds all the leaf springs, right now we'll come back to this. This is one of them, pretty rusted, and I was about to like unscrew the nut and it just popped off. It just popped off for real. And this side, check this out. Look at this. See all those little steps of where each individual leaf spring would move, and it created this step. This is the nut side. This is the head side. So it's been broken off for a while. This was just in place. It didn't fall off because of the U-bolts that were holding everything in place. So this was just acting as a pin. But other than that, I took off these two leaves because I had bought some new bolts from the store. I wasn't sure. I just bought them, just guessing. And I bought 4-inch and I bought 5-inch. Weirdly, I bought four bolts of each and nuts, and none of them fit. Ended up being 3.5. So I took off one of them. I found some stainless bolts and nuts, and I took off one of them just so they can like reach. So check this out. There's a bit of thread left. The bolt and nut right here, and I still have 3 leaves plus this bigger one. And I already did this other side as well. So I have all the leaf springs right there, new bolt. They're all tightened up. I still have the shackle. So this, right now I'm just gonna pass it under the drive shaft, hook it up over there, hook it up over here, put the gas tank, and then I could use that jack so I can lower the chassis, because I have the jack stands over there. But so I can use that jack so I can lower the chassis, so I can bolt up the U-bolts to the leaf springs. Alright, to start preparing for the notch, right here you'll see that it has 3 holes. The center one being for the bump stop. So it doesn't have that anymore, but I went ahead and used a speed square and just put it to the center of that hole, and then I just marked it, and I just marked a straight line just like that, and so that's gonna be our center. Alright, I went ahead and put a clamp with a piece of 2x4 just to get a straight edge from the bottom of the chassis, and so there's our mark right there. I have the same mark right here on the notch. We'll just align those lines together, make sure they're centered, like such, and then I'll go ahead and just mark all the way around, and that gives us a flat edge on the bottom, so when we cut I can weld the bottom of this to the bottom of the chassis as well. Alright guys, an update. I've been working on this thing for quite a few hours. So check this out. I'm already at the end of it. I have the flip kit installed with a new U-bolt. The leaf spring has a bolt, brand new, stainless, just holding all of the leaf springs in place. You know, this part on the bottom, it has a hole. It's offset to one side, so the hole is closest to the cab. That way, you know, there's the drive shaft and here's the notch, same as over there. So really lined up very nicely. So I did put some bolts. I used some bolts, but I am going to weld it. That's just to hold it. I'm gonna take a clamp and make sure that this is like this is like has a nice seal all the way around. I'll clean it off and I'll just weld a very nice bead around, as best as I can do it at least. But all through the inside as well. And it's a very good amount of welding right there. Make sure that it's sturdy. Another thing, the exhaust, I'm gonna have to cut it. Oh, go slow, bro. Oh my god. Yeah, it's the shocks that are bottoming out. Alright, so I loosened up the bolts for the torsion bars and it lowered just a bit. Alright, so that was the first one. It was a bit cold, so I turned it up just a little bit and this one came out. So a lot better. Still flux core. My hand is a little glitchy, but that'll do. You see, I started out wide over here, and then I started narrowing it down, so it looks bulgy on this side and more flatter on this side. But it's still a very good weld. I'm gonna continue the whole frame, the whole plate like that. Not all in one stitch, damn. But in sections, let the welder cool down. I'm gonna get the clamp, just close that little corner down, and just weld it all shut. Alright, so let me show you guys my beautiful disaster, which are not the prettiest of welds. I'll agree with you on that one. They're not the prettiest of welds, but they definitely hold. And I'm not trying to sound all negative and stuff. I'm very happy with these welds, and like, they're not gonna break or anything. And now I have a lower truck, so something I did myself. Right now, let's go ahead and move the truck so I can wash the chassis and all the dirt from here, and maybe I'll just give it a coat of paint. Alright guys, so we're gonna leave this till the morning so it can dry off throughout the night, and then tomorrow we'll just come back and throw a few coats of paint. Alright, so that should be good. I left the differential unpainted because I ran out of paint. But the rest just came out pretty good. The whole chassis is just painted. The leaf springs. There was this piece right here Like I didn't want to paint the U-bolts. But the differential, all this, like the brake, like the back disc for the brake and the calipers, all that needs to be painted. But hopefully later on I can get some like heat paint, caliper paint or whatever, paint those. But for now I just wanted to put the bed back on because you know, we're the weekend already, and this Monday I'm gonna need the truck. I actually found a few more straps, so I'm gonna see if I can tie up the bed, lift it, and then I'll just drive the truck back a bit. So right here I have a strap, so it's just hooked on the purling and just one turn around it, and then I have the little ratchet strap right there hooked onto the bed. So the same thing for that side. Right now, as you can see, it wants to pull forward, so it's still on the table. There's a little bit of room right here, so I'm just gonna pull the bed a little bit forward, and then we'll just adjust the straps and we'll start lifting just enough to where the bottom just passes, you know, like the top of the tire right here. After that, we can reverse the truck in here. It'll just go under the bed, and then the back end will just carry it. Once we remove the bed, we'll just carry it so we can sit it. But I'm gonna put this on a time lapse video. It'll take a while, just switching back and forth between ratchet straps. But here we go.
Yeah, listen, we fucked up.
What do you think? Is it too low? You think we can go more low? No low. All right, so I found these wheels. I found three actually. Two of them were chrome, one of them was black. But I'm gonna use two of them. These chrome ones. They already have tires, and they're both the same. The tire size is 265/75. So they are still like 31-inch tire, 31 and a half. But they are skinnier. I think like a 10.4 at the most. These over here 275/55. So they're wider. A little bit shorter, but they are wider with the wheel 20 by 10 inches wide. So over here I have the other one. So one thing I'm not too sure is if these are Chevy or if they're Dodge. But they are 8 lug, and I believe they do fit 8 by 6.5 or 6.5. These are the 01 to 2010 bolt pattern. Actually way later than that. I mean older than that. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just swap out these back wheels. Hopefully these are a little bit better on size. Tuck in just a little bit, that way, you know, I can drive. Another thing, I think I should, I think I am going to, but install the shocks, the old shocks that it had. Just install them back on, so in case the truck needs to like bounce on something, it'll bounce on the shock, like bottom out on the shock instead on the tire. Potentially end up breaking my bed or anything because this is plastic. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and swap out these tires.